CP1000, but right. So what we did last time, it seemed like a good idea, is we named these columns, and that seemed like a good idea. But the problem is when we go to sort them, when I highlight the data areas and go to sort them, the sort doesn't work. So what I've had to do is I've had to actually remove those names. So if I go to the name manager, which I find under the formulas menu, I'm just going to delete those names. And yeah, and delete. Now, the formula, so I've deleted those names, and so I'd have to, the formula isn't working because it's looking for the names and the names aren't there. That's all right. We just do that again. So this is going to be this value minus that value, and we're just going to copy it down. Now, let's see. So I'm going to highlight the area, the complete thing. Sorry, this is not showing the full spreadsheet because I got little windows everywhere. Sorry about that. So if I highlight the whole thing, you can see it now. I'm actually going to go back to my data menu and I'm going to unfilter it. So when I unfilter it, you see that the little drop downs from above each column, they're gone now. And I'm going to put that filter back on. So just doing that just to make sure, right? Now I should be able to filter on one of these. So we wanted something that went from the highest to the lowest, maybe the amount paid from highest to lowest, or the balance from the highest to the lowest. Yeah, maybe balance from highest to lowest would be good. So let's do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull on that and choose from the largest to the smallest. And the whole thing does sort then because it had to stay together. And so the name was the thing that was giving me the problem. It's probably the thing that was giving you the problem too. So now if you wanted to choose the top 6, you could just, you could get your, so I think you needed to make a graph, which was the top 6 balances or something like that. And so you could take your balances. I think you could do it like that. I might even take that filter off now. What would happen if I took that filter off? Yeah, so now we don't have the drop down, but the data is still in the same order. That's good. We're good. Now I'm only going to take the balances. Yeah, top 6, and I can make a graph out of that. Maybe you could make a go insert, and something like I think that would be suitable for one of these type of charts. Histogram chart. Not so much, right? That's not great. Why it's only showing 2 values. So I'm not going to do a histogram chart. This one. Yeah, there we go. So you can do something like that, which would show the balances from the highest to the lowest. Now that's kind of not so great. So I'm going to escape from that, delete that. And do it again. I'm going to hold down my control key. And let's just get the customer. So I've got two columns that I'm just getting the top 5 or 6 of those. And now I'm going to go and do my graph. Looks like that histogram thing will work. Go to the insert. Was it the history? It was a bar graph or something, right? So yeah, it was one of these.
Mister?
So that works the way I want it to. I can see the value for each one. Yeah, okay. So yes, you have a question.
Yeah, Mister, I want to ask you, when I do for the balance owing, when I drag it down, it gives me same value. It doesn't give me the value for each number.
Which one? So when you're doing your sort, make sure that your naming is not there. So that was under formulas. We have a name manager, and if we have any names that are in our cell area. Now, as I said, yeah, you could also, I suppose, name the entire database and then do the sort on the database name. So you could probably get away with keeping your names. But the way I had it is I just had these 2 names within the database, and so that wasn't working. So we had that. The sorting, when you highlight the table for sorting, make sure you get the whole table, including the including the row that has the names of the rows. And then when you do the sorting, when you apply the filter, you've got these drop down that work for you very nicely. So we did the, yeah. So that's how we got that. What we had done was we had gone and said, get from the largest to the smallest, and it sorted it. If I sorted this again, from the smallest to the largest, you'll see that the top 6, the numbers change and the values change, right? So we got a different graph completely because we got different numbers. So that's our sorting. That's working out quite nicely for us, I think. So I think I'd like to sort of continue on to lab 2, if you guys are agreeable with that. So let's have a look at lab 2, which is this one here. You can download it from today's work. And what you're asked to do is type this data in. Sorry, that's going to take you a minute, so you probably won't be able to follow along with me. And then you're asked to use a vlookup formula that you will choose the class from this list, from this field. And from that, you'll want to return the price from this field. Okay, so I think I have that here somewhere if I have more than one Excel spreadsheet. So yeah, so let's look at question 1. We've actually sort of done it here. So once you've typed all of this in, and notice this has been sorted. All right, so the let's just do that. You can, so when you're at this position here, you're going to take a value from here, any one of these. So let me take value 3 instead of 5. And then the price is going to be a vlookup. So equal vlookup. Here comes the vlookup. Double click on that so we can say, okay, so the lookup value is going to be the value in the cell beside me. I'm going to use that as my lookup value. And then comma. And then the table array, I'm going to highlight all of those. I don't think I need the table headings. And then the column index, sorry. Okay, here's column 1, here's column 2, here's column 3. We want the thing from the 3rd column this time. And then do we want an exact or do we want a range value? And this time we don't want a range value. A range value would be a number bigger than this or a value a lot smaller than that, that type of thing. We don't want that. We want an exact value, so we say false. Exact match. And then when we enter, we get 600 for that. So that's working there. So, and you'll see this work because as I change this number, so I mean, the original one was for number 5, we get the 15,000. So that's how you do that. Hopefully you can see that formula there. The vlookup says, look at the cell beside and then highlight all of the values in the table, but not including the headings. No need for the headings. And then choose which column do you want. Do you want it from this? We don't want it from that because it's the index column. We don't want that. We just wanted that. And that's how we do that one. So the next one is you want to do a hlookup. So you need to type out all this data. It's not much. So, you know, I think I showed you, you can save yourself some time if you just, once you have product 1, that fill handle will actually take the numbers and add on to them if you go up or down or whatever. These other numbers, you can just type them in pretty easily. Then you've got a little area over here where you're going to put your results. So I take the results out and let's go ahead and do it, right? So this works a similar way, but do we notice that instead of selecting across the table, we're going to select down the table. And so we call that a horizontal lookup instead of a vertical lookup. Kind of sounds backward, doesn't it? But anyways, that's how we do it. It's going to be a horizontal lookup. So we're going to use one of these values, and by using that value, we're going to look up one of these values. I don't know why we have 2 that are the same, so I'm going to change that so just to be different. Make that one 18, so that we can see that we do get the exact value. So the thing is here, we're going to choose one of these values. So if I put product, choose one of those, 1, as long as you're careful with your typing, because it will be looking for an exact match. And then we could go ahead and write our formula. Our formula is going to be a hlookup. I see it there. I can double click and it gives me some help in how to write that formula. So lookup value, I know I want to look up from the thing that's above me. So I'm just going to click on that and then use a comma and say, what is a table array? Now I don't have actually headings on this. This is all data, right? So I'm going to, this is the top row is where I actually get the data from to index. The top row is my index for this search. Then I'm going to say which row number. So the top row is row 1, the second row is row 2. So we're going to search to find row 2, and we want an exact match. Same idea as we had last time. So double click on the faults, and what we find is that product 1 should cost 20. Now, if I change that to another product 5 should say 16, right? Yeah, and so it does, it says 16. So that's how that one works. It's very similar. hlookup, very similar to vlookup, except we're looking to find something in another row. Whereas with the hlookup, we were looking to find something in another column. So vlookup. vlookup, we're looking for something in another column. This is our vlookup. See the vlookup there? And in hlookup, we're looking to find something in another row. Very nice. I hope that's okay for you. Last question there. Look at that. All right. So you need to enter this. Okay, it looks familiar. You can probably copy that from one of your other spreadsheets, right? You need to create the formula for cells, the D cells. So these formula. So that's familiar. E13, this formula, that's just going to be a sum. And you need to use absolute values. So that's not too bad. Let's look at it. I've actually got it here. All right, so it says you're supposed to create these. So you're supposed to pretend that those aren't there. So I'm going to delete it so that they're not there. And this is not supposed to be there. So we got to add those. Now you need to use your absolute values. I hope you remember this. So I'm just going to write the formula. It's going to be this thing multiplied by, and notice that I'm actually not typing anything. I just located the value that I wanted with my cursor. You see the big plus. So I'm saying it's going to be this thing multiplied by, so I use a star, that thing, and then that's going to be added to, okay, no, that's going to be multiplied by, so it's just 3 multiplies, right? It's going to be that, and this. But the thing is, this thing can't stay like that. It has to be anchored. And so I use my dollar signs to anchor it. I'll just use both because there's only one number that I ever want to use for my import, right? So then I highlight that. I check to see that that's actually working. I can use my fill now to get that into all of the values. Now for the total, I actually can just do the easiest possible thing, which is just to take the sum of all the values above. And that's how that works. So yeah, I hope that's okay. That's kind of a review from what we've done.